It depends. Monday morning, it's our February edition, and what is going on? Lots of good things, particularly talking about oil cresting over 60 bucks a barrel. So stay tuned for that. That could be a big contributing factor to Calgary's economy, Alberta, over the next 6 to 7 months. What else is happening right now that is helping prices and inventory to trend up? Well, interest rates. Last week, the Bank of Canada announced interest rates to dropping. So we are seeing lending rates right now below 1.4%. We saw as low as 1.39. Make sure you're paying attention, though, to the payout penalties that are associated with those kind of rates, but still smoking good deals. I can remember my first mortgage sitting at 8%. Well, and why don't we get to what is going on in Calgary and neighboring cities here? So I'm just going to share my screen. So let's talk about Calgary. Well, really positive things happening right now. We can see that the total residential price is sitting at about 400, just about 425,000. Now, keep in mind, for a single family, that's going to be cresting up probably well over 500,000 right now. But this is just the amalgamation of all your residential. Inventory levels down 21% year over year. So that's kind of positive and negative in some ways. It's creating a demand in the seller's market for a single family under $500,000. A month's of supply sitting at about 3.34%. So that's down 44% year over year. And can keep in mind that this is pre-COVID levels, like last January there. So that's definitely a positive thing to keep in mind. Is starting to give a bit of a boost to the upper trend on pricing there. Let's talk about the quadrants. The north end and the south end quadrants are the big winners still right now. We talked about those last January. The west side is still being suppressed on downward pressure there. Still doesn't have the bump in sales activity like the rest of Calgary. Your city activity here, your sales levels, keep in mind that a big bulk of that proportion is on the apartment sector. So, just things to keep in mind when you're looking at a complete picture. You need to sort of peel the onion and dig a little bit deeper as to what's trending and what's not. So, we'll look at Calgary here. The sales here, you can see 2014 versus January of 2021. That's phenomenal that we're seeing these kind of spikes here. I think that's really positive to look at, and I hope that trend is continuing here. Talking about the sales year over year, I mean, that's the highest sales again, up 40%, almost as high as sales that we had in January of 2014. So that's really positive. Keep in mind that about 70% of your sales activity is happening, in that under 300 if you can get it, up to that $600,000 range. And then over that, we're starting to see, some positive sales happening there as well due to the increased level of inventory. Want to talk about detached sales. As I was mentioning, the bulk of the sales right now is happening under $500,000, which is creating a bit of a seller's market and a bit of a feeding frenzy. Citywide, your months of supply is sitting at about 2%. So considering that last year we were hovering over 5%, that's a dramatic reduction. So if you're thinking about selling right now and you're in a single family, this is probably the time to do it. You can set your conditions, your possession date. You're pretty much in the driver's seat. I would really recommend that you consider that. Year over year price gains are significant throughout most of the districts, as I was sharing, with the exception of the west side there. In the semi-detached, again, we have gains across the board there, with the exception of the west end that has, slower activity over last year. But inventory levels are remaining relatively low, and the months of supply remained just over 3 months, so slightly more than the semi or the detached. Row houses, we did see gains, the months of supplies about 5% across the board. But keep in mind that last year, this time, your months of supply was around 7 months. So that has certainly trended down, which is positive. Talking about the apartment sector, for the third month in a row, the apartment sector has been seeing positive gains. Although we're still below levels, it was the highest sale activity since 2014. So keep watching that for you apartment goers that were looking about selling or have tried to sell over the past 6 to 7 years. This may be the time to do it. So again, if you have been considering selling, this would be a great time to reach out to your favorite agent and see if they can get you the dollar that you need to move into that segment, whether it be needing more space, you've got extended family coming, new family addition, or you're just looking to get into a different community. Let's talk about regional communities here. Airdrie has had some positive gains. You'll see here that the bulk of the sales are up to about 500,000, 600,000. You can stretch into that. So if you're looking for bang for your buck right now, and you're looking to spend $550,000 to $800,000, Airdrie will get you the house that you want. That is certainly where I would be looking if you were looking to get the get more square footage for your buck there. Inventory levels year over year down 31%. Your months of supply down 50%. How this has changed. When we were talking last year on our It Depends, we were talking about how inventory levels were cresting up. New home sales were super low. So, again, if you're in Airdrie and you were thinking about maybe moving back to the city, this may be the time to exercise your right to sell. Looking into Cochrane here. Improvement in Cochrane as well. We have seen, a pickup in sales in Cochrane. The highest and most popular is that new home buyer up to $400,000. That's where we're seeing the biggest amount of activity right now. We did see a pickup in sales, 33% year over year. Our months of supply is still down under 40%, just sitting at about 2.8. So that's definitely something if you're looking for sort of that mountain lifestyle, or you like the fact that ease of access out to the Trans-Can to get to the mountains, you still don't mind the commute into Calgary there. Cochrane, definitely one of the communities to consider. And then rounding out here, looking at Okotoks, when I was looking at the active listings, it was just sitting over 81. So the inventory levels have been consumed over the last couple of weeks here. Months of supply, 3.4%, down 46% year over year. So, really positive. Again, if you were considering moving up, this would probably be the time to do it. Across the board, all sales activity, from 300,000, up to 900,000. Positive sales in all trends there. What else can we talk about? Yeah, Airdrie's just a bit of a hot pocket right now. Okotoks is, pardon me. So if you're wanting to get more dialed in on the style of home, the community that you lived in, whether or not now is the right time for you to move, we're definitely seeing, work at home, job losses, potentially due to mergers and acquisitions. The inventory levels have decreased. The benchmark price is up. Interest rates are down. If you want to get more information, give your favorite agents a call. Just remember, we're not born and raised. We are Calgary born and raised agents as well as local. Enjoy the rest of the week.